Yes.
At 20 years, I love getting there. I love fear of doing certain things. I know that my mind and my body is going to fucking explode, you know. Right now, I'm going through one of the biggest fears of my life, and I have to think about it for the next 6 months. My wife is having a child.
Congratulations, by the way.
Fuck all that shit. When I had a child 20 years ago when I was young, into drugs and out of prison and all this shit, and it was so weird that it didn't work out for me. And for years, I had built this fear around kids. I did everything I could to not get anybody pregnant. I mean, I have girlfriends now that have 10 fucking kids. If you look at them, you could rub your hands with cum, and an hour later they'll get pregnant if you rub their back. That's how fertile he's been. They're like testosterone-based bitches, you know? And I never got nobody pregnant. Now my wife comes to me, and she says, I'm pregnant. I got to tell you something, Duncan. My heart stopped.
Yeah. At
50, I always knew somebody was going to knock on my door. I always felt that life was going to pay me a visit, a karma visit. Either for something I did at 50, you got to go do 6 years in jail or something.
Right.
I never in my life imagined there was going to be another child. And it's a fear that I have. I love children. They don't bother me at all. I'll raise your child for you. My own is a big fear because it turns a human being into something else. Now you're vulnerable. Right. And I never liked that feeling. I never liked that feeling that it's not just me. Me, I'll do anything. I'll jump in the fucking water. I'll stab you. I got to think of somebody else now.
Yep.
And it makes you so much more vulnerable to people. You have to either take more shit or whatever. I failed as a father the first time. I felt I failed. What I had done was, I spoke about it last night on stage, that I got to the point where I wanted to kill them for what they had done to me out of, taking my child from me. Right. And I wasn't the best father, but at the same time, I cared about the child, and I did everything I could to provide for her and everything. These people kept knocking me off my horse because they wanted me out of the child's life. And finally, they convinced the child. They had more time and whatever. She became their child. But I left for the simple reason that I didn't want the child to grow up like I grew up. There was too much drama going on at the time. I was watching, I smacked her father one time, the stepfather, and I seen my little girl crying. And that's how I grew up. And I didn't want that for her. Right. So I said, the way I could beat these people is not by walking away, because they figured Joey's going to leave in 95. He's never going to come back. He'll OD. Is by me staying alive and being the best comedian I could be, because I wanted her to know that time away from her, I didn't waste my fucking time. Right. I did blow and shit, but I was also in pain. But I also improved, so I didn't want her to think that it was love. You ever eat at somebody's house, they're very nice to you, and you don't talk to them ever again, and you think about that person because of their kindness. Yeah. And maybe they fed you in like a weird city when you were on the road, and it's so weird how you always remember that, because they peddled happiness into your life. They took care of you for that 1 minute. I never forget those things. Yep. I never really forget those things, and this fear is killing me. And I finally came to terms after, 14 weeks of my wife being pregnant. I have to do the same. My dad died when I was 3 of a fake heart attack. The papers said he was a heart attack, but it was a heroin thing. Right. And after he died, people would always pull me aside and go, we don't know what you heard or whatever. But one thing I will tell you is that motherfucker loved you. Yes. Like, he was very fond of you. When my mother died, the mortuary came over, the guy, and he goes, I can't charge you for burying your mom, because when I first came from Cuba, your dad bought Christmas presents for my kids, and he really loved you. And I started thinking about him, and my wife told me this. Like, I was having these fucking doubts in my head. We were going to break up. I'm not going to be a good father. And I thought about what I had to do. There's nothing I could do. I can't rip the kid out of her. I can't take the sperm and put it back in my dick. There's nothing I could do. Yeah. I have to move ahead. Yes. So I have to be the best father I can be. Right. And I'm scared of being a father. Yeah. I'm petrified of it, bro. That's a lot of fucking responsibility. I would be too. The last thing I wanted to do was bring a child into this world today. Yeah. With all the shit that's going on, and movie theaters and wars, and we don't know where we're going to be in 10 years. We don't know if a bus is going to come pick your children up and take them away like fucking Suri. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I never wanted to bring a child it would be a lot of pain for me. Yeah. But now I have a chance to be me. Yeah. And I have a chance to give a child the wisdom or the knowledge or the things I've gained in 49 years on this beautiful fucking planet. So I'm not scared anymore. I'm looking forward to it, and I just became Joey Diaz again. For a couple of weeks, I wasn't Joey Diaz. I'm back now.
Yeah, you solved the equation. You
Yes.
solved the fucking
Absolutely.
equation. You worked it out.
Absolutely.
And that thing when your mind is processing the equation, because that's what happens. These events, things will come into your life that are very, very powerful. And like, like this is, in Eastern philosophies, this is what, everyone's always looking for their guru. Everybody's looking for the guy in the fucking robe, or the guy who's got a halo, or the guy who's glowing, or the an angel to fly down or something. But the real way the universe comes and talks to you is in events like what you're describing. These events that are so potent and so powerful that there's no way out. You have to deal with it. And they're the greatest teachers there are, man. There are a person could come and sit with you and talk to you about the idea that at some point you have to give more than you ever thought you could give, even if you didn't want to give it. Somebody could say, that's what's going to turn you into a real human being. That's what's going to really bring you to the next level of consciousness. Someone could sit down and say, that's what you need to do. And it's like, what are you fucking talking about? But when the child comes, that's God, the universe, the force of love coming and saying, this is it, man. Here's the real lesson. Here's the real teaching. In your whole life, this is the big class, man. This is the big class that's come to you. Because your last daughter, you were in a different place. That's a different person, man. You were in a different place. Things have changed since then. You've worked fucking hard. You've become a brilliant stand-up comic, a great fucking actor. And man, people fucking love you. You're a different person now. As far as I can tell, that child came to you at just the right time, because you have so much to give that kid now. Now, I'm speaking from the outside, and forgive me if I'm speaking out of place, man, because I can't imagine. I can only look at it from the outside, but to hear the conclusion that you've come to, it's obvious that this was meant to happen. You got a fucking telegram.
Yeah, no. It's a receipt.
You got a telegram.
I got a receipt. I had an answer to a receipt.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. You look at your life. I was talking to somebody the other day, and we're talking about money. How money complicates things sometimes. And I hate when somebody wants to get money.
Yeah.
Because they really don't know. When you talk to somebody like, I want to be a millionaire, you really don't know what comes with that.
Yeah.
And you really think that solves everything. It really fucking doesn't solve
nothing.
Dick in the big equation, And I'm fucking stoned. And but it's so weird how I want to be a father. I'm very happy for Terry, my wife. I wanted to give her something. She gave me a tremendous gift. She gave me a second chance. But the thing with my daughter was, it wasn't even, I didn't weigh my life as the comedy or the acting or accomplishments, something like that. I weighed my life on where I was as a character in my heart 20 years ago and where I am now. That's the most important growth we could have.
Right.
Everything else is fucking, all we take with us is our soul and our character at the end.
Yes.
And that's all people are going to remember us by, is our soul and our character. Yeah, he might have been a good stand-up, or he might have been this, but one thing is he really fucking loved me as a human being. That's
right.
The most a person could give you. This child, I've accepted because, fuck it, it's for my wife. It's the gift from me to her. Now I have to be a man.
Yeah.
I have to fucking step up to the pump and be a fucking man, which is what we got put on this planet to be at the end of the fucking day.
That's right.
In my heart, yes, I was born to be a comic. I was born to do this. No, you were born to be a fucking man.
Yep.
Everything else is secondary. And the stronger man you are, the stronger every other facet of your life will be. Trust me when I'm telling you, it makes every other facet of your life. That fucking knowing that you're a man and adding that and that energy in your life is really fucking what it is. And that's what I felt complete. I'm very happy now because I was missing that love from a child to me and me to them. And it may improve my comedy, it may ruin it, whatever, but it'll always build me as a man.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's not going to ruin your comedy.
No, I'm just talking shit.
It's only going to help everything. But what you're talking, see, this is why I know I talk about this all the time. This is why I fucking love the Bhagavad Gita, which is this scripture that takes place on a battlefield, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and it's with this, and Kurukshetra means, there's a lot of translations for it, but it means sacred duty. So it takes place on the battlefield of sacred duty, on the place where a war has to be fought. There's no way to avoid the war. There's no peace. This is going to happen no matter what. The two armies, it's like, you know, in legend, it's the biggest war that ever happened in India. And these two fucking armies have gathered on this battlefield. They're facing each other. They're starting to blow their conch shells. And, like, that's like when the shit's about to go down. And Arjuna, the great warrior, has Krishna as charioteer, and Krishna represents God or the universe or, you know, eternal wisdom, has him bring the chariot in between the two armies, and he checks out the army he's about to fight, and he says, I'm not going to do this. He says, I'm going to fucking, I'd rather go live in the forest and be a beggar than kill all these people. And this is like a lot of hippies get confused about the Bhagavad Gita because God's response isn't, oh yeah, go live in the forest and be a beggar. God's response is, no, you're a warrior. Your job is to fight. You have to fucking fight. You have to take up your weapons and you have to fight this battle. And so what you're going through and what every single person goes through from time to time in their life is where they find themselves at this moment of decision, sitting in between two great armies, whatever it is, sitting in the place of indecision and having to decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to fight? Or are you going to go and live in the fucking woods like a coward and eat fucking gruel and pretend that you've done some holy, wonderful thing and pretend that you're some brilliant, great person because you've gone off into the woods to be a pacifist, when the reality is you're ignoring the essence of what you really are. And what you really are is a warrior. And so, and we're not at war. It's not like you, but having a child and making that decision. No, I'm not gonna fucking give up on this. I'm not gonna abandon this. I'm not gonna run away. I'm gonna raise a child and give a child all the love that I have now, and give this child a beautiful life, and give my wife, you know, a child and give her a beautiful life because this is what she wanted. That's a warrior's decision. A lot of guys don't make that fucking decision. A lot of guys fucking turn tail and fucking run because there's a lot of single mothers out there with kids because a lot of guys are like, no, I'm free. I'm a free man. I'm going to go live off in the woods as a free man. I'm not going to fight this battle. I'm going to go be free. No. Don't act like you're doing some heroic thing. No. The heroic thing is to fucking fight. And raising a kid, I'm sure, is one of the greatest battles there is. I can't imagine, man. That's why I love the Bhagavad Gita, because it's the perfect fucking metaphor.
If you're going to talk to me about Hindus, I got to smoke more weed.
Do it.
You know, I love you to death.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, Duncan, it wasn't like that. And I got to tell you something. For me, I had a chance of being a man. What I thought of being a man was at an early age, and I failed. I went to prison. I did drugs.
Right.
I disrespected myself. I robbed. All the things I thought made somebody a man weren't. Having a child, I was very confused about it, but the bottom line, I failed. That's the fucking true result. And if you know anything about guys like me, is we hate to fail.
Right.
We hate to fail. You're not going to be good at everything. I know this.
Yes.
But you have to come out of there a little good, at least with a purple belt.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You get your blue belt, I'm out of here. I'm not good at this. But that's how it is to me right now. That's how I put it in my mind. I failed as a man 20 years ago. I got a great fucking second chance.
Yeah.
I got a great second chance. And second chances do happen.
Yep.
And now this is it. I got to go for it. You know, and all I could do now is be the best man I'm 50. What does a man live to? 74? You know, I don't want to die when the kid's 3. I got to look after everything now. It's really making me, you understand me? I got to take care of my health. I want to see the kid graduate high school.
Yes.
I can't be fucking around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it makes my life interesting. It raises the stakes at 50, where at 50, you're lowering the stakes.
Yeah.
At 50 in your life, you're lowering the stakes.
All right.
It's raising the stakes. This might give me an extra 10 years of life because of this whole thing. I love my wife. I'm in a great place. That's part of being a man, is loving your wife and the people around you. So I'm not even working on stand-up and all that shit. I'm trying to work to get prepared for when this child comes to this world, that I got 6 months to become a man again. Mm-hmm. That's what I have right now. Yeah. I have 6 months. It's great. I think about it every day. I know it's 6 months away. It's like that term paper. 6 months away.
Right.
But I still have to make little notes every day and check myself. And that's what that's why I have a big smile on my face, and that's why I came to see you today, cocksucker. Good to not get anybody pregnant. I mean, I have girlfriends now that have 10 fucking kids. If you look at them, you could rub your hands with cum, and an hour later they'll get pregnant. If you rub their back, that's how fertile he's been. They're like testosterone-based bitches, you know. And I never got nobody pregnant. Now my wife comes to me and she says, "I'm pregnant. I got to tell you something, Duncan." My heart stopped.
Yeah.
At 50, I always knew somebody was going to knock on my door. I always felt that life was going to pay me a visit, a karma visit. Either for something I did at 50, you got to go do 6 years in jail or something.
Right.
I never in my life imagined there was going to be another child. And it's a fear that I have. I love children. They don't bother me at all. I'll raise your child for you. My own is a big fear because it turns a human being into something else. Now you're vulnerable. Right. And I never liked that feeling. I never liked that feeling that it's not just me. Me, I'll do anything. I'll jump in the fucking water. I'll stab you. I got to think of somebody else now.
Yep.
And it makes you so much more vulnerable to people. You have to either take more shit or whatever. I failed as a father the first time. I felt I failed. What I had done was, I spoke about it last night on stage, that I got to the point where I wanted to kill them for what they had done to me out of, taking my child from me. Right. And I wasn't the best father, but at the same time, I cared about the child, and I did everything I could to provide for her and everything. These people kept knocking me off my horse because they wanted me out of the child's life. And finally, they convinced the child. They had more time and whatever. She became their child. But I left for the simple reason that I didn't want the child to grow up like I grew up. There was too much drama going on at the time. I was watching, I smacked her father one time, the stepfather, and I seen my little girl crying. And that's how I grew up. And I didn't want that for her. Right. So I said, the way I could beat these people is not by walking away, because they figured Joey's going to leave in 90.
Yes.
At 20 years, I love getting there. I love fear of doing certain things. I know that my mind and my body is going to fucking explode, Right now, I'm going through one of the biggest fears of my life, and I have to think about it for the next 6 months. My wife is having a child.
Congratulations, by the way.
Fuck all that shit. When I had a child 20 years ago when I was young, into drugs and out of prison and all this shit, and it was so weird that it didn't work out for me. And for years, I had built this fear around kids. I did everything I could.